It's been 24 hours since Trump almost got his wig pushed back, and let's just get into it. So right now, the fallout from this is massive. The country is trying to figure out how and why Trump got shot, and these are some of the options that we have. Either this was an inside job, or a complete staged event, or the Secret Service is just extremely incompetent, or as many people say, the Democrats and their Hitler rhetoric. Let's talk about that and more in this video today. So I've been checking out this story, as probably you are, all day. It has been extremely crazy that we are witnessing. This is a very important part of our history right now, in the history of America, where you see an assassin attempt on a former president that is running to get elected again. And it's so crazy. So the first thing I want to talk about, the question, was this staged? Some people believe it was staged.
That shit was more staged than a Tyler Perry production of Medea Runs for President. I lived in Harlem long enough to know that gunshots do not sound like making popcorn on the stove.
I live in Brooklyn my whole life. Shots do sound like the one I heard on the video. I don't think she said she was from Harlem. I believe it, but those sound like gunshots.
Where'd the blood come from? So in theater, in movies, they have what's called blood pellets. They even, people use them in Halloween. It's basically like a pellet of fake blood that's in your mouth, and when you crush it, the blood comes out. To be frank, Small Hands Trump would not respond by raising his fist in the air triumphantly were an actual attempt made on his life.
And we'll talk about that.
This was, I believe, done to try to show his strength counter to Biden's fragility.
Interesting comment there. We'll talk about how this was definitely not staged, but some people have brought that up. Maybe this was a way for Trump to definitely get over on Biden. The problem is, if you look at the polls and look at the panic that Democrats have been going through last week since the debate, Trump is currently winning in polls. Remember, people are trying to find ways to get Biden to step down. So why all of a sudden he would need to do some kind of crazy staged event where he pretends to get shot and get shot in his ear? For what? He's already winning. At this point, Biden can't complete a sentence. So this theory doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Oh my God.
Okay. Obviously, this actress or comedian or something does not like Trump, but we're going to show that it probably was not staged.
Honor, that's exactly where I heard him come from.
What did you see, sir?
I heard the shots. I thought it was firecrackers to begin with. Somebody over there was screaming, he's been shot. So I made my way over. I said, I'm an emergency department physician. Let me help you. The guy had spun around, was jammed between the benches. He had a headshot here. There was lots of blood, and he had brain matter there. And so I got him.
It doesn't sound like a staged event. That must be one extraordinary production. A conspiracy that has to include hundreds of people. At this point, no, it was not staged. But for someone to turn around and say, it was staged, it just takes one person to dispute a conspiracy. So let's not get into our Alex Jones bag in terms of conspiracy theories that what happened in Connecticut with the school shooting. Let's take a step back and realize that it was an assassination attempt on the former president.
There's a helicopter coming in to get him. So I got people there really helpful. I got
Was
them
there only
up
one
on the
person
bench.
shot that you saw?
Then I did CPR, did chest compressions as well as I breathed for him.
One person.
I was the only one that did it.
We need to evacuate everybody.
But what I want to talk about, what I find to be disturbing, is the incompetence of the Secret Service. This woman can't put her gun back in her holster. Everyone looks confused, panicked. This does not look good. So I think the issue that I've noticed is Secret Service really dropped the ball on this situation. I don't think it was an inside job. I think at this point, Secret Service needs to be overhauled completely, 100% so. Let me show you what happened when Reagan was shot. Look how fast everyone got on that. Like, boom, boom, boom. Hey, what the fuck? Our president was shot. Look how quickly everyone is on it.
Back up! Get him out! Get him out! Get him out!
You notice in this video, you don't even see the president anymore. He is gone. He's gone. He's not there. Look, homeboy got, I don't know what that thing he has. He has looks like a damn assault rifle. President is gone. He is ushered in the car. He is out.
Get him out! Stay back! Get back! Get the ambulance! I got one!
So that was, I don't know, 40 something years ago. And now we're dealing with that can't even take a tip. There's witnesses that knew something was up before the shots were fired.
Right, we couldn't and watch and listen to the rally. Right, we couldn't see them, but we could hear them. So we walked up, and probably 5 to 7 minutes of Trump speaking. I'm estimating here. I have no idea, but we noticed the guy crawling, bear crawling up the roof of the building beside us, 50 feet away from us. So we're standing there, we're pointing at the guy crawling up the roof.
And he had a gun, right?
He had a rifle.
A rifle.
We could clearly see him with a rifle. Absolutely. We're pointing at him. The police are down there running around on the ground. We're like, hey, man, there's a guy on the roof with a rifle. And the police are like, huh, what?
See, when you see something like that, first of all, that's completely outrageous. The people who ran the security here should be fired, be honest, reprimanded at the least. You had people pointing out there was a man on a roof with a rifle in an event where a former president is speaking, and the police didn't react fast enough, didn't take what they said seriously. They said a guy is on a roof with a gun. That's why some people think it was a setup. Some people think that the Secret Service is not there to truly protect Trump. When you hear something like that, how is that possible? How is that possible?
Like they didn't know what was going on. We're like, hey, right here on the roof, we can see him from right here. We see him. He's crawling. And next thing you know, I'm thinking to myself, why is Trump still speaking? Why have they not pulled him off the stage? I'm standing there pointing at him for, 2-3 minutes. Secret Service is looking at us from the top of the barn. I'm pointing at that roof, just standing there like this. And next thing you know, 5 shots ring out.
So you're
That's crazy. But you could tell me in the comments below, do you think this was a setup? Because I've moved past the idea that this was some kind of stage event. It wasn't a stage event, at least in my opinion. You have citizens, you have bystanders pointing at a roof. They're pointing to the Secret Service to say there's something going on. They did not act on it. He said 2-3 minutes. Trump luckily survived this assassination attempt. 1 inch. He basically will look like JFK. He was going to get his wig pushed back. And you're telling me that there are people who saw this? This is a very small rally in this area. It was very intimate. And they couldn't get one weirdo that had a rifle on top of a roof somewhere?
certain that the shots came from that guy on the roof.
100%. 100%.
And he was up there for a couple of minutes.
He was up
you
there.
You saw him up there for a couple of minutes.
Absolutely. At least 3 to 4 minutes.
And you were telling the police and the Secret Service.
We were telling the police. We were pointing at them for the Secret Service, who were looking at us from the top of the barn. They were looking at us the whole time when we were standing by that tree.
Could they see
binoculars?
Him? Could they see him?
Probably not, because the roof, the way the slope went, he was behind where they could see. But why is there not Secret Service on all of these roofs here?
Great question. This was a systematic failure of the Secret Service.
I mean, this is not a big place.
Did you see, I mean, obviously everyone, when the shooting started, everyone was very panicked. Did you see what happened to him at all?
Oh, yeah, they blew his head off.
Okay, sorry.
Secret Service blew his head off.
Okay, just be careful because we don't quite know who's watching, but you're pretty sure they shot the guy?
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay.
Yep.
You saw that happen?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And did you see them go up to him afterwards, or?
They crawled up on the roof. They had their guns pointed at him, make sure he was dead. He was dead, and that was it. It was over.
Absolutely crazy. Let's go with another eyewitness attempt, pointing out something that was supposed to have been checked way before those bullets rang out.
As Trump started, I noticed 2 officers that were looking for something or somebody. I was looking around myself and seeing a guy on top of one of the buildings go in between one building to the next, and went and told the officer that he was up there. And when I went back to my spot, I heard that people could still see the person from where they were standing. So I checked that out, and I went back to tell the officer that if he came over there, he could see them. And when I turned my back is when the shots started, and then it took me a second or two to figure out exactly what it was, and then it was just getting out of there and helping some other person out with her child.
They need to investigate every single Secret Service agent there. They need to investigate all the law enforcement. This is crazy. How many people saw this guy before he did it? Now, you could say maybe some of the citizens should have jumped in, but they're not cops. There's tons of cops. A former president is speaking. They should have the greatest security in the world. And some 20-year-old with a rifle, luckily that couldn't shoot, was able to go all the way on the roof and had a free shot at the president's head. Luckily, he missed. But how he was able to even get to that point? The Secret Service is supposed to be the most well-trained, the best of the best, protecting the strongest, most powerful people in the world, whether you're a president or a former president. How did they let this happen?
And we got out, and that was the end of that. And I went and left, and that was all. There's more buildings behind the tan building that we can see, and we were back there, and there's 2 or 3 buildings behind that, and he was on both of them. I assume both of them when he went on that small section from one to the other, and that was where I last saw him. Was
the question the other witness brought up is why the Secret Service wasn't on all of these platforms. That's why I assume when the Secret Service comes into town, they have all the rooftops taken care of, all over the place. Despite if he's in a small place in Pennsylvania or if he's in New York City, I would assume that all of the rooftops are being surveilled by Secret Service. So what the hell happened yesterday?
the end of his day.
So this man was able to basically climb to the next building, and you told law enforcement, hey, there's a guy over there.
Correct. I don't know how he got up there. I don't know any of that, but I definitely saw him up there and officer, and that was all I know.
So let's get into the picture that everyone wants to talk about, right? The really cool picture of Trump raising his fist. Yes, is a picture that is probably going to get Trump reelected or elected, whatever. Secret Service allow him to even do that. Like I showed you with the Reagan video. As soon as there's a shot, they cover him, they drag his ass out, and they put him in the limo. There is no attempt to say, wait, let me pump my fist up. That shows that to me that the Secret Service is extremely incompetent. Yes, the shooter is down, but you don't know how many other shooters are around. For him to get them to stop, for him to do the pose, shows how weak the Secret Service is. You know what should have happened? As soon as he even attempted to do that, you tell the president, Mr. President, get your fat ass back in his huddle. Are you lost your mind? You almost died. Your ear is bleeding. You were 1 inch away from your brains hitting the back of this podium. Get your fat ass back in his huddle and drag his ass into the limo. But the problem is, I guess this is the kind of Secret Service that let the president do whatever he wants. But yes, it's a great picture. But that is a security risk. He almost got killed. And yes, Trump is a showman. And obviously that picture is probably going to make him the next president. But I don't know if the Reagan Secret Service will allow him to take that pose. They would have grabbed his ass, lifted his big fat ass up, and threw him into that bulletproof limo. But we don't have the same Secret Service, clearly. So the FBI identified 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks as the suspect in this attempted assassination. So this person was able to go climb on a rooftop with a rifle while people are telling Secret Service and police, hey, there's a guy with a rifle. And then minutes later, the former president almost gets killed. This is crazy. We are living in a reality TV show world. I have no idea what's going to happen next. I think Trump probably is going to win. Biden can't complete a sentence. It doesn't look great for the Democrats even before this. So that's why the theory of being staged doesn't make a whole lot of sense. There's a rally attendee that is dead. There's people who were shot. Trump was shot. This kid that had on Republican gear, apparently he was registered as a Republican, but it looks like that probably is a way to walk around the facility with anyone not bothering him. I mean, think about it. You out to kill the president? Are you going to wear a Biden shirt so people can point you out, or wear a pro Second Amendment shirt and walk around as if you are a Trump supporter? That's just my theory. But this is a systematic failure for Secret Service. Trump does what Trump is going to do, but they need to be a big investigation, and heads need to roll. Some people who ran that security detail need to be demoted or fired. Do you think it was staged? Do you think it was a setup? Let the conspiracy theory fly. I mean, we don't know. Everything here is alleged. We just know that the person who did the shooting is dead. What the hell happened to the Secret Service? How they went from how they took care of Reagan to what the hell was happening with Trump? Let me know. Put in the comments below. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. And I'll see you guys in the next video.